Well, let's begin with different ways that you could introduce your essays. Now, this is a stylistic point, and whatever you feel most comfortable with, I would recommend you go with, because there's no real format for what the perfect essay looks like. There's maybe a platonic form of the essay, but what that form looks like, honestly, nobody could really tell you. There's hundreds of different ways of doing it. And I recommend you just do what seems best for you, what suits your writing style best, and how you'll feel comfortable. This is one example of how to begin an essay, and it's to begin with a little story. Lots of people like to do this. It's very good at capturing the reader's attention. And if you can do it successfully, and not always can people do it successfully, it's a great way of demonstrating your skill in both writing and your command of the subject. This example is from last year's winning essay in the history section of the John Locke essay competition. And the question was, should we judge those from the past by the standards of today? How will historians in the future judge us? And the student wrote, Chateaubriand, writing in the aftermath of the July Revolution, claimed that judging history impartially can only be achieved from posterity. 1830s France was a place of great turbulence and upheaval, and thus it is easy to appreciate why Chateaubriand wished to escape the present. This is a fantastic example of how to begin an essay with a story. As you can see, it's very, very short. This is genuinely just the first paragraph of the essay. It goes on to another point in the subsequent paragraph, which is longer. However, it's punchy. It's not overly wordy, so it demonstrates a good use of the English language, and it sums up quite a complex set of ideas very quickly. And the complex set of ideas is also very germane to the essay title as well. So, in particular, in response to the should element, and also to an extent in response to the how element as well. But insofar as the should is asking us whether we can, whether we ought to, whether it's a good exercise, I think this story is directly on point. So Chateaubriand says that impartiality can only be achieved from posterity. So perhaps suggesting that yes, should we should judge past events by the standards of today, because with separation we gain that ability to look at past events properly. And he makes this point, which will be the subsequent point of his essay to some extent, by summing up very skillfully something that happened in the 1830s in France. And to be honest with you, he might not know a single thing about the July Revolution and 1830s France, but given that he writes so confidently, it just makes him seem like a very knowledgeable person. All he might know about it is that it's a time of great turbulence and upheaval. But given the confidence of it, it just makes him seem very knowledgeable. So this is how I'd recommend introducing a essay with a story if you want to go down that route. Don't take too long to do it, because it can be wasteful of your word count and it can kind of lose the point. So if you want to come up with a very complex story that will take some explanation, I would advise you actually just think of a different one. They Most stories can be told succinctly if you really want to do it, such as this student has done with the July Revolution, and certainly that's not a simple story at all.